Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another weekend extravaganza of Paladins Esports. It's week 3 of the open bracket qualifiers. My name is Rainday, and my buddy Hi-Rez will be joining us alongside this incredible action for today. We're excited. There's a lot of things happening in the air in Paladins. There's just legendary,
a lot of changes
legendary atmosphere.
That's right, guys. We got the PTS happening right now. All the legendary cards are unlocked for you to try out and figure out which ones you like the best, which ones you want to go for first once they hit live.
And of course, if you are in live and you're thinking, well, hey, at least let me stack up on some gold, stack up on some crystals. We got a free crystal weekend happening as well to be able to get some extra crystals in your pocket. Go ahead and make sure you play live. You'll get 30 crystals per first win of the day. I think you can get 3 of those. So I think you can get 90 crystals per day, totaling 1,000 crystals over the... I'm just kidding. I was pretending I was bad at math, but no. You're going to get quite a bit if you're able to go and get those first wins. So make sure you do it. Let's take a look at the North American side of the standings. If you're just tuning in, we had Europe yesterday, and here's where NA said Xenosy at the top of the bracket. You may notice match point. Where are they? They actually dropped out as a team, and they've got players that have moved over to Astral Authority. Team AGG, Team Eager as one of Match Point's players. You may know him. His name's Stolzy. And so it's all very tight and contested here in North America.
That's right. It's almost anyone's game here for the first seed. But I think in terms of who's going to get in the top 4, it looks like it's pretty locked in right now. We got Astral Authority sitting at 100 there, sitting about 65 points above the rest of the pack. They're Highborn below them at 35 points. You can see the bracket here today, Xenosy versus Astral Authority, will be the first game that we're watching. On the bottom side, we've got AGG and Eager as well. So Vex making a little bit deeper into the bracket, I think, than we've traditionally seen from them.
Yeah, and what is interesting to note, both of these semifinals have undefeated teams, so somebody's going to lose that streak going into this. We've got Xenosy versus Astral Authority for the first set you'll be watching here. And the map bans have come out. Timbermill off the board. Frozen Guard tossed away as well. Frog Isle will be the map they play game 1 on. And this is a best-of-5 set. So first to 3 wins takes the cake and moves to the finals. We're ready for the champion draft. Xenosy versus Astral Authority starts now.
And the European drafts were up in the area, so they were all over the place. Stuff we're just totally not used to seeing. The Makoa first pick is still staple, but
absolutely
the rest was just absolutely up in there. We saw 3 tank, 2 healer. I think we saw no tanks one game, but the thing here is that EU has kind of gotten used to Torvald. They're not afraid to pull out the Torvald anymore, and we saw District 69 leaning on Torvald, in fact, in a lot of situations here. NA has shown that they're ready to do that, but what they haven't shown is the Maeve pick. We haven't seen them go to that very often. We haven't seen them lean on that, pick that, you know, first or second that we saw in Europe yesterday, especially Burrito.
In fact, we've seen that be something that has kind of been a hindrance for them. When doesupz picked up that Maeve, he was not very successful. And we'll have to see if that changes, though. Torvald's still highly prioritized. Again, you see Astral Authority take him as the first pick.
Yeah.
The new front line here, be able to deal with those shields well. But Ruckus for Xenosy still very high on the board. That seems to be something that's consistent across EU and NA.
Yeah, granted, Maeve last weekend was brand spanking new, hot off the press, brand new champion in the realm. So, you know, as teams have more time to practice with her and against her, I think we might see it a little bit more here today. But double frontliner already locked in for Xenosy, and Fernando has been going later and later into the draft here, and there's a Grover for Astral Authority.
Well, that's a bit surprising, seeing that Ying is on the table, and that does...
It is Frog Isle, though.
That does, you know, I mean, map-specific drafts are something we've seen and I think can be effective. Grover's going to do well at keeping, you know, champions like Victor who want to just kind of stay perched up on the edge, throw those grenades, and just wail down. But he's got to be pretty exposed to get all that healing done. I'm interested about that one. I think Yang still would have been very valuable on this map.
And 1 pick left here for Astral Authority. It's going to be Evie. Have to have that flank pressure, I think, at some point. And Evie is a character that can traverse the wide lines of sights of Frog Isle with relative ease without taking too much poke from Victor, as that is likely to be her target heading into the backline.
Well, let's head into the game. It's time to get things started. First semifinal of the day in North America, and these teams are ready to rock. Z1 Unknown on Xenosy. We talked a lot about him last weekend, and he is looking to show up on this hot Victor. Tooney, not on his Bomb King, but on Maeve. It seems like him and another person I know love the 2 same champions. Smidgen on Maldamba, Cacanuck on Makoa, tinyFetus on Ruckus.
Astral Authority will be their opponents today. On the right side of your spectator UI, Evulli will be playing the Drogos. Kusqt on Grover. WarDoom on Torvald, so we'll have to see how aggressive he's going to get today. doesupz on Shaolin and Bodies on Evie. That's a very scary lineup.
Big thing to note, Evulli back in the lineup this weekend for Astral Authority. Did not play last weekend. They weren't able to achieve the type of success that they wanted, and I think this is a big, clear sign that Evulli, one of the people who made his name on Bomb King, back in their roster, trying to carry this squad. A couple of salvos and rockets will deter the aggression right now from Xenosy, so they'll just sit back, hang out for a bit, and let Drogoz do his thing, which is not where you want to be, but it is all for Astral Authority right now. A long-range rocket will help iDropBodies clean that up. 42% on this point already.
Trying to bully their way on is Xenosy. The Grover axes are definitely providing some good long-distance pressure here. Anyone who comes around that corner is going to take, 600 to 700 damage. Nice floating fire spit, but it's going to actually be off the mark here. But, it's creating the zone that needs to happen right now. Astral Authority, 80% already on this payload, and it just doesn't look like Xenosy are confident enough to try and bully their way onto this, even with the double frontliner.
I love the floating fire spits as well. It's a 1-0 to start for Astral Authority. They take clear command, clear authority, so to speak, of this game. And with Evulli in the backline, he's just been keeping the constant pressure. He loves staying in the air to finish off those fire spits, keeps himself even. We see Bugsy kind of drop sometimes or rise up and still hit those shots. Evulli's just keeping it even, making sure that he stays equilateral to his fire spit so he can explode that with his rocket.
2 minutes remain here. Grover just continuously throwing out. Character does not have a reload, so he's content to just spam his axes away. And double frontliner now holding down this angle here, but Xenosy trying to keep their feet under them right now. Tooney finds doesupz here, but falling lower and lower now with only 1:50 remaining here. This Frog Isle is an extremely short push here, so Astral Authority want to keep the momentum on their side.
Great time to use that ultimate from Grover as well. Not enough cauterize on the board to make it not impactful, so he gets full value from that whirlwind, which just heals up your teammates so well. Great tracking by Z1 Unknown.
With an Eevee on his tail.
And he actually lets the grenade go, which could impact the fight with Tooney down there, taking a little bit of extra damage. doesupz gets the kill on a Cacanuck though, and that will solve a lot for for Xenosy. Because, of course, without a tank to kind of defend and create that frontline pressure, the damage dealers are going to have a tough time getting over there. Torvald, WarDoom already going hard onto the Ruckus, and Makoa's back, but here's the Hyper Beam. It's available. He doesn't want to use it, though, because they feel like they've already got this locked up.
Oh, no.
And they even get a Dread Serpent to boot from Xenosy.
That is not good. I don't know why you popped that there when you already have 3, 4 of your teammates dead. I mean, the one person you maybe save there is Cacanuck on the Makoa, but without an Ancient Rage, I don't think he's going to be able to turn that fight around by himself.
There's
so
a lot
now
of,
they're going to go into that with, big time down in the ultimate
it's
department.
a mistake.
They have nothing available. Barrage is almost there. They just didn't get any damage off during that round. They were just on the back foot the whole time. As you see Astral Authority's ultimates, they used the Grover ultimate. Kusqt's already back to 60% on that, and the rest of the ultimates are good to go. Hyper Beam could definitely throw a wrench in the spanner here. And I see both of these double tanks this round really trying to bully their way onto the point, take control of it early because they were never able to get in there. But the Hyper Beam is just going to totally dismantle that.
Absolutely right, and it's time for Xenosy to make a change. There's a lot of history between these two teams. Smidgen, formerly a member of Matchpoint, that kind of disbanded here, and he's actually gotten the better of Kusqt, WarDoom, and doesupz, who were also on Matchpoint.
Nice stun.
But doesupz here is not letting any of that go either way except his. It is all about for the long range. He sets it up, triple kill for doesupz here, and it is all because of the zone created by WarDoom, the pressure from above by Evulli. Their team's firing on all cylinders right now and creating a lot of open space for the Shaolin to do work.
That's a brave Heat Haze right there. With 50 HP, comes and gets the triple kill. No fear. doesupz is here, 57% and climbing for Astral Authority. Still have 3 ultimates left on the table. Dragon Punch for one of these frontliners. Which one is it going to be?
And he's going to find Smidgen, so no healing now. Here's the recharge, going to try and take away the shield. It will be successful. Kusqt on the Grover picks up 2 of his own, and overtime takes away. 2-0 goes the score now, and it is 3. With Astral Authority taking a commanding lead again on Frog Isle. They've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and this game is going to be over. It's going to be a 1-0 start. This is the way they wanted to come out today. Set a tone against Xenosy that they are not going to be upset again.
Here comes the Midnight from Tooney, trying to find something, but still no picks. It does put Astral Authority on the back foot. It separates WarDoom from the rest of his squad, and they are able to take him down eventually. Tooney trying to pressure out this Eevee, but doesupz does answer back on to Z1 Unknown. There's the repulsor field coming out from the Ruckus, keeping everyone safe. for the time being.
Z1 is such an important player for Xenosy, and we see them kind of crumbling here, not really having a lot of rhythm. A lot of what they had success with was when Z1 was able to take the game into his own hands on an Eevee, on somebody who is just maybe extra skilled, but if it paid off, you were able to go to the bank big time. And now with this Victor, I feel like he's a little bit crippled with the skill cap there. I feel like you can only do so well, do so many things with a Victor, maybe not having the impact he needs for his team.
I don't know who's running the drafts, but it's not what you want to put your star on, I don't think. Maybe he's just filling that role for his team. It's not really up to him. But you're right. I mean, there's only so much a Victor can do to carry a team fight, especially when there's an Eevee pressuring him out. You know, that puts a hard, you know, lifespan on that Victor in that team fight. He did a good job of it with the Eevee. He was able to find a kill in the previous round, but Astral Authority are not letting up here. A minute remaining. There's the Dragon Punch again coming out, finding one of the tanks, and here's a good salvo to try and get that recharged.
Zones him out with the salvo, and again, goes right into a fire spit. I love the aggressive play. Astral Authority, as a result of that and their team-wide coordination and execution, pick up game one pretty swiftly against Xenosy. So they've got a lot of questions to answer now, Xenosy do.
It felt quiet. Like, it's our first game of the day. Like, we're just waking up. Are they just waking up? Like, what's going on here? I didn't feel like there was a coordinated response. I mean, there was a big whiff Dread Serpent as well. Still good healing, though, from Smidgen beating out Kusqt, but that's a little bit to be expected. Great damage from the Grover player here, almost hitting that 40,000 mark. Keeping up almost with doesupz, who had a great game. Evulli putting a lot of poke out onto that double frontliner as well. Bodies playing well, but yeah, we just need to see a little bit more from Xenosy here. They seem just quiet that game. Not a lot of coordinated strikes, not a lot of attempting to bully their way onto points with their double frontliner composition. It's not often that we see a solo Torvald just kind of like win the front line against two tanks.
They didn't have all cylinders firing, to say the least. I think a lot of it has to do with not having the opportunity for Z1 to continue his dominance and his kind of MVP play that we saw last week. We're ready with the champion draft for game 2. It'll be on Jaguar Falls. Let's see if they can change things up and mix up the rhythm. We know the drafting phase is something that allows a team to kind of go into a game with some more momentum, than, especially even if they lost. If they get a good draft, they can feel good. They can have like the early game start out for them and really kind of catch up in what was a pretty demoralizing loss for Xenosy there.
I mean, Cassie was on the board last game, and that's, you know, one of Z1 Unknown's greats. There is an Adroxus on the board. If they were, you know, it depends what they were looking for. If they were looking for the backliner, I would have rather put Z1 Unknown on Cassie. If they were looking for more flank pressure, I would have rather put him on Adroxus. It just feels like Victor was not the answer specifically for him, for Z1.
Absolutely. So they take the Torvald away. Makoa gets grabbed up first pick, and there's the Cassie we mentioned. That could easily go to Z1. That could easily go to iDrop. You know, that could easily go to any player, you know, on that squad. But Astral Authority as well, Nick, when you look at what Kusqt was bringing to the table, it was strong with Grover. He's a solid support player. He kept his team alive. Really good early whirlwinds. And I wonder if he's going to favor Grover here. I wonder if they're going to go for the more traditional Yang Maldamba.
Yeah, well, the Maldamba, but I think Kusqt is going to be on the support. And that's the value of having Kusqt on your team, right? Things weren't working out with Vex last week, so they sub in Evulli, and now Kus can flex to that support role, play the Maldambas, the Grovers, and then if they want to change it up again, maybe bring Vex back in, then Kus flexes somewhere else. It's just a very flexible roster. A lot of good picks. Shaolin Damba was the answer from Astral Authority here. Now with the option to go into a Ruckus, if they want to get on that. But I like the Shaolin Drogas, especially into the double frontliner.
And Maeve will be selected for Astral Authority. That means that Xenosy will not have Sneaky Cat Burglar on their squad, but they will have Eevee. As you want to know, has been known to play a lot of that at a very high level as well. Astral Authority versus Xenosy. Game 2 coming up right now. We'll see if Xenosy can pull into this race yet again, or if Astral Authority will cement their lead and make it 2-0. Starting with the lineups here, we've got Astral Authority coming in with Kusqt on his Maldamba now. iDropBodies on the Maeve. WarDoom on Fernando. doesupz on Shaolin yet again. And Evulli, big difference maker for me last game on the Drogos.
And for Xenosy, Z1 Unknown this time is going to be on that Impact Eevee, one of his favorite characters, one that he plays extremely well. Smidgen will be on Ying this time around. Tooney on Cassie. Cacanuck on Makoa, and tinyFetus on the Torvald. We could see Bodies playing that Maeve, running that Street Cred 2 here. The Shred 2 for a little bit of Pounce cooldown, and Walk It Off 3 for a little bit of healing. during his prowls.
Street Runner 2 as well, just making that prowl last a second longer. Means a little bit more healing, means a little bit more distance potentially. iDropBodies going to be looking to make a big impact with this Maeve. Requires a lot of good aiming to be most effective with her. 6% already on the objective for Astral Authority, so the point fight's gone their way to their credit of thanks to their positioning. But now iDropBody finds himself running into a Makoa, decides to go outside a little bit, keep throwing those daggers, affecting the team fight. Gets a lot of good damage onto Smidgen though, and he's going to use his Dimensional Link already. That's bad for this fight. Saves his life, but uses Prowl to reposition, and that's the power of Maeve in these close maps. Double kill, deletes Gassy, and she goes down as well, thanks to Z1 Unknown.
Eats a big ice staff to the back of the head right now. WarDoom trying to hold down the point against two frontliners. Can't put that shield up because Torvald's just going to charge off it. He has his Pocket Maldamba here, which is going to help him in the long run. doesupz is now returned, slays one of the frontliners, and now WarDoom has Torvald backed into a corner, but just elects to go help doesupz, and I believe that's a very wise decision. Torvald is almost dead to rights. There's not a lot he can do here without any shields, without any cooldowns. More important to keep doesupz alive, who can carry a team fight.
Absolutely, and that is going to be the difference maker here for Astral Authority. And of course, Xenosy, he's important in this squad. The Torvald, so key for their play style here. Wanting to use the aggression, wanting to use the silences to get Tooney, to get iDropBodies in trouble with the Maeve. Hasn't been able to keep a lock on her yet. The Hyper Beam comes out from tinyFetus, and he will get a kill on a Kusqt thanks to that damage. But Tooney is really low yet again, and thanks to the Ink launch, he will heal up, and that's a nice protection bubble as well.
Heal, the Ying healing, the protection bubble, it's all good, but it's not enough at the end of the day. This Torvald, again, left alone on the payload. Z1 is here on his Eevees trying to clean up some of these kills, but they just can't get it done. Those are all tough targets for Eevee to hit, flying around in the air. Evulli lays down this salvo. There's nowhere for Z1 to go after that ice block expires.
And he falls, and it will look to be a falling objective for Xenosy. Astral Authority picked that up 1-0 in Jaguar Falls, and Evulli continues to zone here on the Drogos, just using one of the stronger champions in the game right now and using him extremely well. And I mentioned I love his contribution to these games and this team in general. I think he has really been that extra solid player, that piece that Astral Authority needed to submit their authority in this battle, you know, because it was a lot more even. Xenosy had the edge last weekend, a couple weekends ago. And now it just looks like they're a whole different team.
Yeah, this is it's a strong roster, right? So the more these guys play together, the scarier they're gonna get. The more synergy they have, the more comfortable they become with each other, calling each other out, helping each other get better. As a squad, this is gonna be a very dangerous 5-man in the roam.
One of the more mechanical players as well we've seen on this squad. iDropBodies, one of the better ones. Evulli, one of the better ones, again known for his Bomb King play and playing actually a lot of flex champions, whether it's Shotland, whether it's Eevee, knows how to do it. There's a Dread Serpent as well. iDropBodies knows how to keep those daggers coming, and there's the Dragon Punch, but gets taken down by Z1 Unknown, and tinyFetus and Smidgen split the difference, pick up a couple of kills of their own, and Xenosy find a defense for the first time in a whole game and a half.
There we go, a minute left here, and Astral Authority are so close. They've put themselves in a great position here to find this conversion. 2 ultimates available, however, for Xenosy, and Astral Authority did spend a decent amount to try and get that. The Dragon Punch, the Heat Haze was not too long ago, and the Dread Serpent as well. So Astral Authority can either just try and win the team fight off raw skill here. Here comes the Ice Storm as well, but not a lot of follow-up. So we're going to be able to heal that one back up and try again.
Z1 going in, and this is the difference he's making. He's pushing them all back. He's creating a lot of pressure. He didn't get kills there, but he forced the shield out of Fernando early. He forced them into a position to where they were defensive, allowed his team to heal up, get back to full health. But still, it doesn't matter because WarDoom was in the back line right after that, continuing to apply pressure, picks up almost 2 kills himself, contributes to 3, and could be 4. Z1 Unknown left as the man standing, but he will not be able to stall what is the inevitable, it seems, at this point. Yet WarDoom is low, and if they can continue this with tinyFetus coming through, he's gonna stall this out.
No,
he's gonna stall this out, Nick, but
good.
Will it be enough?
Z1 Unknown bought just enough time for, I believe it was either Cassie or this Ying to get back. No, the Immortal just goes off the map. Immortal won't save you from the hazard zones. The Hyper Beam wins out just before. That's just unfortunate timing right there.
Man. Obviously, the CC immunity, overtime ticking away, is going to grant Xenosy the successful defense. But the CC immunity of Fernando's ultimate allows him to basically stop moving, stop being affected by Torvald's Hyper Beam. He would have been able to stay on the map, but he just activated too late. His momentum was too far, and he wasn't able to do it. Unlucky.
Picking up the Master Riding 2, keeping up with tinyFetus this time around. And I feel WarDoom's doing a good job, I feel, of, as a Fernando player, playing around recharge from Torvald. Whether it's waiting to bait it out, making sure that it's on cooldown when you use your shield. He's doing a great job of not keeping tinyFetus alive, basically, because Torvald is looking to use Fernando as a battery to just keep himself charged off. But great job there from Xenosy. Astral Authority pushed it all the way, basically, to the goal line there, and just full goal line defense from Xenosy, able to keep things alive, not go down another 2-0. So starting to see some momentum pick up from the squad.
Tooney with an instinctive dodge roll, knows trouble is near, and that she must retreat. He's got a 2 streak, and he wants to continue that as Evulli, flying in the air, looks to find some rockets down onto his opponents. Hits a Yin clone, hits actually 2 of them to make sure that healing can't happen. And again, an aggressive and very accurate fire spit that turns into an explosion and really helps to create chaos on the point. That salvo! Damage over 3 members of Xenosy, and this is going to be a problem for them. Torvald doesn't have much life left, but neither does Evulli, with a very, very good kill by tinyFetus. However, the Torvald stays alive in that interchange for just long enough to give Z1 Unknown some time to come back, throw the ultimate out, but it's her versus WarDoom, and he's got a Moldova Gourd on him. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Now stunned out, impaled arrow in the hallway. Good for Astral Authority. 57% and still climbing, but Xenosy are starting to make some moves here. Double kill though, 2 for 0. Astral Authority are taking command of this fight quickly, and iDropBodies using this mobility just to stay on the flanks, always hitting Xenosy from angles they don't expect.
It's so fast, the damage, the confirmable pounce damage is so fast, 99%, and that is the objective captured for Astral Authority. And iDropBodies is just playing Maeve at a high level right now. He's absolutely taking advantage of the moment when you don't see her coming, or when you don't think about her. There's a Hyper Beam from tinyFetus, tries to get him off the map. And it charges very quickly, but it is to no avail there. So kind of felt, hey, if we get it, we can stall this push.
Yeah, if you get it, you get it.
And unfortunately, if we don't, we'll be able to charge that up again when it really matters. 2 minutes, though, left on the clock. And it's all up to Xenosy here.
I don't really hate the use of that Hyper Beam, nor do I hate the use of this Midnight here. doesupz, big kills coming through in this team fight off the back of that ultimate time. Just trying to go. Cacanuck has nowhere to run on this Makoa. The payload is not close enough to close this round out off the back of that team fight win. And I suspect Xenosy, you can see them sitting in their spawn right now. They don't want to get staggered. They're waiting to get all 5 members because they have the time to spare.
And with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, Xenosy need to stall this defense now. The Dread Serpent does come out from Astral Authority, and they are looking for kills. Heat Haze popped by doesupz. He's got to go 1 more shot, but Cassie doesn't know where he is. Ancient Rage Makoa could kill him in 1 hit, but he's swinging at nothing, and unfortunately, almost about to fall. He comes into the back line, but there's Planet, and that'll secure the kill onto the Turtle. 1 more to finish off the Grandpa, and that's a successful push. Torvald, Makoa, down. Astral Authority up 3-1.
That's just a beautiful team fight right there from Astral Authority. They stagger 4 of their 5 ultimates beautifully. Midnight to get in there, get a couple of key pickoffs, get in position to take the game. Once the respawns start coming through, we've got the Dread Serpent to blow the team fight in Astral Authority's favor. And just to outlast them, doesupz pops the Heat Haze, stays alive. After that expires, then the Immortal comes out. Just so much coverage throughout that team fight with massive team fight ultimates. Made it just so easy for Astral Authority to take that.
Already at 33% is Kusqt after that Dread Serpent. Feels like it just happened. And he's going to be able to impact the fight with that ultimate again if it comes down to the wire here. He's getting credits for healing as well. If you know, doing his job in the realm gets you paid beautifully. So he's going to be sticking with his right side flank here, which looks to be comprised of 4 members of Astral Authority, looking to really take an advantage and take favorable positioning again, even though it leaves them slightly vulnerable to the Hyper Beam from Torvald. 21% on the point so far, yet to have a fight occur.
Dragon Punch is ready to go. Salvo comes out, so anyone that steps out of bounds here, Evulli will be able to Dragon Punch them easily. First kill, though, of the round to doesupz onto Z1 Unknown.
And looking to find some damage on the Smidgen as well. He goes down quickly. Cacanuck was a little too far and a little too slow for the Ring Around the Rosie game that Maeve was playing. And iDropBodies picks up a huge kill on the healer. Evulli with a great long-range rocket picks up a double kill.
Jeez.
Could be a triple, that it is. Looking for a quadra here is Evulli. Z1 Unknown wisely soars away.
Salvo comes out, doesn't find the dismount, however. 75% already. Xenosy have to make a move in fast, but they got to make that move straight into the Dragon Punch from Evulli. He's already winding it up. He's looking for the Torval, but the Master Riding would have kept him alive, but the game did end. Unfortunately, that would have been really funny to actually watch the entire duration of that Dragon Punch.
It really would have been. And he stays alive, but he also wisely doesn't go for the Ying, which had a Ying clone in front of her. I think he's seen...
That's asking for trouble.
It's asking for trouble. You're bound to get, nitpicked off of that one,
You're
man.
bound to get not top 5 plays.
So here are the final stats for the game. Astral Authority wipe the board clean with Xenosy one more time and look like a completely different matchup than what we saw last week.
That is big damage coming out from doesupz there, especially the fact I almost used Drogoz as the benchmark, right, for a lot of damage, especially against double frontlaner when he's getting those 3-man salvos that are eating all 6 rockets, multi-person fire spits. This character should be far away ahead of everyone, but doesupz keeping up with the Shaolin, so he was finding a lot of work in these team fights. And WarDoom as well. 54 damage on the Maeve is very good for this new champion. The top eliminations in the game, 5 solo kills, so really excelling at his job, and Kusqt pumping out massive amounts of healing there, 85,000 comparatively to Smidgen's 29,000. Yeah. Obviously being on the winning team helps with that stat. Pocketing WarDoom is always a good look as well. He's always not very healthy. He's always low health, bouncing around the corner.
He is, and with Stonekeep coming up, there's not really, I think, a clear range of how frontliners zone in this map. I think there's a lot of emphasis on the point fight. There's a lot of open and kind of vertical layers that you can see. So in the champion draft coming up here, it's important to look at, I think, what do you build off of? Where do you try to control in this map? I think a lot of teams, they go for the upper ledge. They try to get the 3rd tier on the balcony. And then some teams really like to pack it in on the point here. What's kind of the strategy for Xenosy and Astral Authority going into this draft phase?
You're right. Most of them do that one of 2 ways. They take the hyper high ground there in the 3rd tier of the Cathedral, or they just bully the way on the point. We saw a lot of Barrack in EU yesterday with double frontliners just bullying and just staying on. Not really winning the fight, just sitting there long enough for the payload to spawn.
And that gives that gives you the advantage. And we saw even positioning, how important that was in this last match. There was the point of Astral Authority to make the right side and then step onto the objective. Get 20, 30% before the fight started so that they're in a great spot.
Yeah.
They've put the pressure onto Xenosy to behave. And now Astral Authority take Fernando early on. And this is weird because Xenosy have Makoa. I think they were just aware, hey, we don't want to give them too much front line. We don't want to deal with the clump on this map. But Maldamba and Maeve coming out is a strong kind of counterpick in my eyes to say, let's get Astral Authority's iDropBodies. Let's get that Maeve out of here. 30-6 last game.
Yeah, but you give them the Cassie as well when it does well on this map as well, because she can fire from basically anywhere in this long line of sight point. I'm liking Astral Authority's picks right now, frankly. They take the Fernando a little bit early just because I think that's where WarDoom's comfortable, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to give him a Ruckus or a Torval. That's just not really his play style. He likes to be that hyper-aggressive frontliner. Rounding things out with the Victor, they leave the Androxus on the table, but they do need a healer still. So Ying, probably going to be the selection here from Astral Authority. Not a lot of flank pressure for this Victor. This time I could see this working out. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for the Victor to still impact the point, be a little safer, and kind of, I think, retreat a little safer. Victor, when he retreats on Frog Isle, still, if someone's near him, retreats to a lot of open space. There's a lot of, doorways and corridors, and, you got to get into the line of sight to have that happen. We'll take a look at what ends up happening in this next game. It could be the end for Xenosy and Astral Authority as well, but they'll be moving on to the finals if they get one more win in this matchup. Astral Authority bringing Grover into the lineup again with Kusqt, Evulli on the Shaolin, WarDoom on Fernando, doesupz on Cassie, and iDropBodies this time on the Drogoz.
Their opponents, once again, Smidgen on Maldamba, Tooney on Maeve this time, C1 Unknown back on Victor, Cacanuck back on Makoa, and tinyFetus this time on Ruckus for what could be the final time in this series. Going with the Wrecker, trying to chew through that Fernando shield, but honestly, WarDoom doesn't play around his shield too often. Most of the times when I see him put it up, it's just in retreat. It's not really like to hold down the front line for his team. I say they don't have a lot of flank pressure, but they do have master riding WarDoom.
Yeah, and that's about enough flank pressure as you would need. Z1Known already knows. Look how fast he absolutely was. Just repositions, and this is damage on the WarDoom, but he's gonna buy so much time, and he just gives a siren off as to where he is, and doesupz and squad run over and finish him off. Tooney in the back line as well misses a couple of shots that could have helped put Kusqt under pressure, but still falls again. So the tail so far has been Xenosy taking good positions, having the first shot, but then getting coordinated attacks back onto them by Astral Authority.
Cacanuck does take out iDropBodies though, 81% for Astral Authority on the point. They're just trying to bully their way on, and this is where things start to get a little bit dangerous here. They have the double frontline to do it. doesupz goes for the planted, but doesn't, or excuse me, Evulli goes for the plan, but doesn't get the Fernando shield put out in front of him. So 93% on Astral Authority, and they lose the fight.
And it was successful. They did bully their way into this game. And if this works out for them, they'll be saying, wow, we need to do this more often. We might see a complete strategy adjust for this team. But right now, Tooney looking to finish off the kills. This is a great spot for him. He's going to get some damage off. He's going to dash away. Will he stay alive, though? No. It looks like he will see that Drogoz goes for a different target, and he will slay even better tinyFetus and then finish off Tooney at the end of it all. So gets the champion that he wanted anyways, and gets Tooney as a consolation prize.
I mean, that's why Drogoz is so valuable against double frontliner. Dragon Punch just immediately turns the fight around, and he almost picked up the Mave, right? So, and he could just target switch mid-flight. You don't know really what he's going for when he activates that ability, and Drogoz showing why he's picked up more often than not.
And when you talk about frontliners too, Nick, I think we look at a lot of times the HP, but I think when you talk about really when teams picked up double frontliners, it's a game plan. That's a decision they made. We want more sustain. We want to be able to outlast in these fights. We're trading up some extra damage for some more health, and that is what our team is balanced around. So Drogoz is even more impactful, not just because he's getting 5k HP over 3, but it's because he's taking off a part of their game plan that they're counting on in order to win. They need their double front lines to provide that same amount of sustain, to give them twice the sustain. Dragon Punch ends it right away, and that is one of the reasons he is just unstoppable right now in this meta. Minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Astral Authority looking like a 2-0 push could happen again.
Whirlwind did come out from Grover. I can see doesupz battling it out with Tooney in the back line right now. Here's a Dread Serpent, though, coming out, trying to get things stabilized for Xenosy, and it looks like it's done its job.
Grover getting pulled, but it's basically to no avail. tinyFetus is firing in the background, and look at this aim. tinyFetus, a very excellent Ruckus player. He's got an advance very soon, but he's not going to need to use it because Z1Known is aggressive with the Victor yet again. Maybe he preferences Victor in this meta. We don't know what's going on in their minds. But
very,
I mean, this is
very pushed up right now.
He's pretty confident here.
Careful, careful, careful. You could get impaler and immediately burst. And we saw that happen once before. Now moving around on this high ground. I like this flank coming out from Astral Authority. doesupz on this Cassie taking favorable positioning up on the high ground there, but just the pincer maneuver here is going to be able to take him out.
Good advances as well by tinyFetus. Just moves to the left and the right, baits out Evulli, and Tooney puts him back to sleep. Smidgen finds a kill onto WarDoom, and now it's really looking like Xenosy's moment here. iDropBodies will fall, and Z1Known still running around like a race car here with Victor. We can even take a look. I'm pretty sure this is a result of some modified speed thanks to his cards, Nick. I usually don't see Victor's run this fast.
Yeah, gets impaler into the wall, and that's what we were worried about. That's the pick, but they did not need to give up. WarDoom is here to start the overtime. The Midnight is available here. Tooney could elect to pop this to just try and diffuse this push coming from Astral Authority. Here's the Dragon Punch. Could be a good time here. He's just going to wave his way around, gets through the Hexafire, and is able to take out tinyFetus before going down to Smidgen.
Ancient Rage will add the extra life of a second frontliner, and so essentially this has been countered very heavily by Cacanuck. It is all even again. One frontliner versus one frontliner and a couple of damage dealers, but now that tinyFetus is back, this is looking more and more of a dire and hopeless chance for them to be able to push. And very, very interesting interactions there. Cacanuck really saving the day, becoming 2 tanks himself with that Ancient Rage.
Just having enough ultimates, I think, to stabilize that. So if Bodies goes for the Makoa, then the whole Hexafire gets off. Maybe he kills a couple people and the fight's over then. So iDropBodies is kind of forced to go take out the Ruckus while he's hexifying. But now that opens up Cacanuck to be safe to use Ancient Rage and just almost win the team fight. Or, you know, at the very least, stall it long enough for his respawns to come through, which is exactly what happened. He didn't kill everyone. He only got 1 kill off his Ancient Rage. But his Ruckus was able to respawn. Smidgen was able to respawn on this Mal'Dam, but just keep the fight going. So 1-1 here, trading out 2 ultimates for 1 though. The Whirlwind did come through very late from Kusqt to try and keep everyone alive. So all things told, 2 ultimates to 2 here heading into the point fight.
2-0, very different story than 1-1. Cacanuck starts things off right with a good hook, but he will get impaled, and that will be damage onto him. Shell spin. It's going to save his life for just a second, but not too long. Cacanuck's streak will go down in flames thanks to the Dragon, and especially the Bow Brothers in the back line. Evulli with a double kill. doesupz rolls in, tries to find some more. They've zoned well enough now. Astral Authority in authority of this game, 36%. And counting.
It's just, I feel like their composition, right? They have so much damage to pick this double frontliner apart from a distance. The Grover, the Cassie, the Shaolin, the Drogas. Those are all characters that have no fall-off, or in the case of Grover, get better.
Yeah.
The longer his shots are, big roll in from doesupz, very aggressive, is able to take out Z1 Unknown. WarDoom is here to bail him out as well, and Xenosy are just looking in pieces in this team fight. They are spread all over the map.
doesupz, my goodness gracious, the length of those dodge rolls has caught even me surprised. And I believe it was the same effect to Z1 Unknown, who tried to barrage from a safe 100-yard distance and found Cassie right at the side of his head.
Running teleport 4.
He's running blink 3 pretty much. And it looked like she might have had wormhole because of the way she was able to get back to safety as a result of that. doesupz on a 6 streak here. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And Astral Authority again in the lead. Can they make a push this time though, or will Xenosy stall them again?
Midnight trying to get things going here for Xenosy. The blind planet comes out from Evulli. He's not able to get much done with that as expected, but Bodies picks up a kill on Drogas. His team is clumped up. They're staying together, just trying to be safe with each other. There's the Immortal. Try and keep Kusqt alive and punish this overextension from Xenosy.
Tooney very active on this Mabe. I love the way we're seeing him play here. Gets up into the air, sees a lot of targets, but Evulli comes back with the revenge planted and finishes off the cat herself, and she will go back to the streets begging for another life. She's back to base for just a little while. iDropBodies will finish one off, and he's looking to finish off Smidgen. Doesn't quite connect on the fire spit though, and Cacanuck misses a very crucial hook that definitely would have sent iDropBodies to the base, I believe.
That whirlwind was beautiful coming out of Kusqt, keeping them all alive, trading out positively in the ultimate department. Xenosy spending a fair bit. Hexafire, Midnight was used, and Dread Serpent to not even get a clean wipe in that team fight. Tooney is spotted out here on the back line, but Drogas is not the ideal champion to chase her down. A minute remaining here. Moving back in now for the pincer is Tooney.
This is exactly where he wants to be though. iDropBodies picks up 1 kill, but they turn their back. And that means Z1 Unknown, Cacanuck can pick up doesupz and Evulli. So despite Bodies staying alive in this engagement, they've lost 2 damage dealers again, and they have stalled Astral Authority's push. What is it going to take for Astral Authority to break through this stolid defense by Xenosy?
It could come down to better use of ultimates. It could come down to just getting into the later stages of the game, more wreckers, more cauterize, shutting them down. But these whirlwinds from Kusqt have been so great. You know, late game cauterize is going to hurt Astral Authority a lot as well.
And again, iDropBodies takes down Ruckus, but he falls in the process. And so no Dragon, no Ruckus, but it does look like there will be no Makoa as well. Great impale from Evulli, and he forces away any attempt at aggression by Z1 Unknown, and again looks for the withdraw, tries to finish off the kill, can't do it though. And the blind from Tooney will be strong enough to get 1 kill. The Pounce will give him a little bit of help, but he'll die now. It's all up to Makoa here with the whirlwind coming out from Grover. He's on the point, he's got Ancient Rage, but he's got to hope that he doesn't get knocked off too far away from it as a result of iDropBodies. There's the fire spit, and it doesn't help. Here's the Ancient Rage, his health slowly dwindling down, but he's bought enough time for Ruckus to come back in the fight, and the push, despite all of that, is successful by Astral Authority.
Kusqt's whirlwinds are disgusting right now. He has clutched so many team fights, sustaining his guys through this firefight, through these ultimate dumps from Xenosy. And Grover, it's not easy to do, right? Because even he's got to hit it reactionary to these Dread Serpents, because Grover, he can't be CC'd out of his ultimate, but he can be CC'd during his ultimate, if that makes sense. So you could stun him, fear Grover. It's all stuff that's going to be able to happen, but the ultimate effect, the whirlwind, the healing, the area of effect sustain is still going through, and that was something we saw happen in the reactionary whirlwind with the Dread Serpent, keeping everyone sustained through Xenosy's team fight. Just Kusqt, I can't praise him enough. This Grover play is out of control.
So much falling into the hands of Grover and the healers in these games. Maldamba with Smidgen here is doing his job, though, for his team. Xenosy keeping their healer alive and taking down iDropBodies. A great start to this team fight, and they're up on the upper rafters. Meanwhile, Evulli, Tooney battling it out. Bow versus Dagger, seeing who's going to come out the victor in that one. And Victor on the side of Xenosy by Z1 Unknown, looking to try and finish off his team's chance at a victory. Going to use the barrage, not going to be able to find the Shaolin. Will get great damage onto Cassie, though. Throws the grenade. doesupz cleans up two.
Wow, he stayed alive.
And still is alive here. Z1 Unknown doesn't look to his right. He looks up in the skies, and unfortunately, his death comes from the ground.
That's just unfortunate. The barrage comes out to try and punish the planet, but Evulli cancels and quickly withdraws out. doesupz somehow, after eating one of the barrage shots, 1,500 of Cassie's 2,000 health, stays alive, kills the Makoa, comes out with a double kill in the team fight. Here's a Dragon Punch. That's going to skunk Xenosy's push here with 99% on this capture point. There's not much left for Xenosy to get done here.
And with Drogos here, a Fire Spit and a Salvo, it's almost all but over here. tinyFetus with a great kill. Tooney
they turn it
gets
around.
one as well. 93%, 97 for Xenosy. Could they keep this alive? Astral Authority were on the brink of capturing this, but 3 quick kills could mean and do mean that Xenosy stay in this game.
Against
2-3.
all odds after the Dragon Punch. Xenosy don't even slow down. It looked like they sped up towards the point, and that maybe took Astral Authority off guard a little, because teams don't tend to do that when they get Dragon Punch, push harder into your defense, but Xenosy somehow come out on top.
It's a pretty amazing scenario we're looking at here. Both of these teams playing at high levels, countering each other in so many different ways, and so effectively at different times. And it's almost a roll of the dice whether that time ends up aligning with you having 93% on the objective and ready to close it out, or whether you have 60 and you still have to fight one last time before you get the objective. So far, things have gone in Xenosy's fashion in this round, and they will now be able to push this. They've got a lot to go through, though. There's a lot of strength here from Astral Authority being displayed in their performances.
Xenosy could tie it up here with the conversion, but Astral Authority one more payload capture, and they are going to take this series. They are already up 2 games to 0. The game's going to be paused here by Kusqt. A couple of ultimates on the board for Astral Authority. The Immortal, the Dragon Punch once again, getting that charged up very quickly, and the Whirlwind that's been so clutch, so key in keeping Astral Authority alive through, very notably, the Dread Serpents coming out of Xenosy's Smidgen. That's the kind of the main setup that they're looking for to win their team fights, to get their guys set up. Cacanuck's been doing a great job as well, playing around this Dragon Punch with the Ancient Rage, because a lot of times Xenosy will pop a lot of ultimates, almost forcing DropBodies' hand to Dragon Punch somebody else, whether it be the Maldamba, whether it be the Ruckus, and then can get the clear distance, the clear window where that Ancient Rage can come out safely. Because Dragon Punch is a percentage damage based all. It doesn't care how much HP you have, whether it's 1,800 on Eevee or 10,000 on the Ancient Rage.
So he's going to get a lot of value if he's able to wait and patiently just kind of choose the right moment to use it with Makoa. But he's also been finding consistent value in this game. So it's not that he hasn't been effective. Maybe he hasn't maximized his value on the Drogos. That's definitely possible. But I think he's still done what his team has needed him to do. With 1 minute and 6 seconds left, Xenosy are on the precipice of tying this thing up. Astral Authority thinking, hey, we have this in the bag, 3-1. There's no way we're going to lose this. But Evulli goes down to Tooney, and this is looking like an aggressive zone from Cacanuck and Tooney. I don't know if they're going to get back.
A lot of momentum here, and only a couple ultimates they have, but do they spend it? No.
They didn't even go out.
I think that's the wise decision here, because Xenosy, they don't have the Dread Serpent. They just use Barrage as well. They almost have Ancient Rage and Hexafire here, but Astral Authority, they can take that gamble, right, and maybe keep it the 3-2 scenario, or they can say, all right, we're going to take the hard advantage going into this 3-3 scenario with our ultimates. We have the confidence that we can win this fight. That's what they're saying to me right now.
And they're also saying, a little bit of me that there may be some frustration because if you try, you know, you never know. I mean, when you turn these things
around,
like
it happened very quickly.
You never know what can take place. One ultimate we've seen, a Hexafire, an Ancient Rage, can just stall a fight and give you enough team for your teammates to spawn. At that point, you have the advantage with a few ults. You may not want to use it, but hey, how valuable is it to have a 3-2 lead versus a 3-3 tie, and anybody's next point fight wins the game. We'll see here if the gamble was worth it.
Nice fire spit.
Fire spit. That one not so much, off the mark a little bit. Cacanuck with the shell shield as Makoa, a big target for iDropBodies here, but he does not have the ultimate available to use, unfortunately. He's going to be looking actually for Cacanuck again, but he's just taking it, looks to pull him down, and iDropBodies goes down, doesn't win the battle between Makoa and now Evulli, taking down Tooney, but Hexa-firing and damaging Ruckus right now is forcing them all out, with Smidgen keeping his team alive.
Evulli does. And it's a takedown. Tooney. doesupz gets Z1 unknown. tinyFetus answers back onto one. Great hook to pull WarDoom back up onto the high ground. But this Fernando is just so tanky, and he's going to be able to retreat to Kusqt, get that burst heal from the Blossom, and iDropBodies gets hooked out here. He could get punished. Thrust up in the air is going to keep him safe for a time being, but the continued fire from Ruckus isn't enough, and Bodies finds the direct impacts onto the turtle.
So important for Bodies to get that kill, because if Drogoz would have gone out of the fight yet again, that would have been very, very bad. Now tinyFetus up on the ledge, wants to take matters into his own hands. Z1 unknown, cleans up Evulli, repulsor field, mitigating the damage. They don't find the Drogoz yet in the upper ledge, and they're letting him charge up a Dragon Punch. He doesn't know where he's going. Oh, he does. He's taking down Cacanuck, but Cacanuck is almost going to be able to get back into this fight, considering that they've got 96% on the objective, and Astral Authority have a long way to go.
WarDoom is here. The shield is up. They're ready to go. Salvo is primed and ready. iDropBodies just waiting on the heal from his Grover. Evulli tensely waiting out the respawns from Astral Authority. He spots one going up onto the high ground. Everyone now spotted out, as doesupz has just popped Scout. 72% and climbing for Astral Authority. This is going to be very tight.
The problem is they've got doesupz in the backline. They've got WarDoom in the backline as well. Evulli in the backline, and they've got no pressure on the point now. Everything is on them, and Z1 unknown gets cleaned up with an axe to the dome. And that is an Astral Authority victory, a 3-0 sweep over Xenosy. Things have changed, Nick. And
that's beautiful.
That's
a beautiful win there.
Things have changed for the better.
That zone was masterful coming out from Astral Authority, making that pincer maneuver between, I believe it was Evulli and WarDoom, deep in the backline there, that cut off so much of the reinforcement, forces Cacanuck. He just has to get on the point almost by himself, and just slowly picked apart in that last team fight. Astral Authority were down, but I feel like it's always better to be down, win the fight, and be in control of it as it comes down to the wire. You know, no matter where you're at, it makes it very difficult for a team to try and just trickle in without a very organized plan.
Look at this, 27-5 from WarDoom. 5 deaths in this game. I mean, the closest is 8 with Kusqt. Everyone else is
tough to kill.
And Smidgen's 9. Everyone else is in the teens. I mean, 70,000 damage too on a Fernando. I mean, he's 11,000 more than
That's
Cacanuck.
a lot of damage on everyone. 74 for Kus.
I mean, this was a great gameplay, but WarDoom specifically, when your frontliner only gets 5 deaths, that is I mean, that's just WarDoom being a great player right now. That's just WarDoom knowing Fernando so well. He knows when he can stay alive, and he's just, that's what makes him work, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes him annoying. That's what makes him good.
We barely saw Fernando at all yesterday.
And that's why when you use him to his highest potential, he can be frustrating. Flankando is a thing, you know.
It's the WarDoom wiggle. It's all that jumping.
It's the jumping, man. It must keep him alive. I don't know what it is, but 5 deaths, pretty exciting stuff. And congratulations to them. We've got, obviously, a great weekend going on. 2 big things happening. There's a lot of ways for you to get crystals here. We've got a free crystal weekend happening. If you get your first win of the day, you'll get 30 crystals per win. And I believe that can be 3, so 90 times every day you're playing this weekend could be quite a bit for you if you want to get a head start on some chests later on. And we've also got a great thing happening with the legendary cards in PTS.
That's right. After you get those first wins of the day in live, head on over to the PTS. If you haven't already downloaded it, you can do that at forums.paladinsgame.com and get access to these brand new legendary cards in the Season 1 patch. You'll have them all unlocked on the PTS. Make sure you get in there, figure out which ones you like the best so you know what to target by once they go live.
That was going to do it for this semifinal. We'll be on the other side of the bracket coming up right after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a sec.